Department announced it is looking to add members to the force.
Specifically, they're hoping to recruit more women. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Marcy Jones is live right outside of the Hartford Police Department. Marcy, what is the reason behind this push?
Good morning, Nicole and Wendell. Great question. Currently, HPD is made up of 13% women. That's about 56 members. However, the department is also a part of the 30-30 initiative. That is a national push to make police departments 30% female by the number 2030. All right. So to inspire women to really get into this and pique their interest, we've got the Hartford Police Department offering women's self-defense classes. Now, Channel 3 stopped by the class that's only offered once every few months yesterday to check things out. The class is open to women over the age of 18 and encourages participants to learn how to defend themselves in dangerous situations. Additionally, they hope to inspire women to consider a future with Hartford PD. Organizers say it all starts with representation.
So when they see someone that looks like them, and hopefully, underrepresented women as a whole, but if they're of the Latino community and I can speak to them in our language, I can get them to see themselves, being me, and hopefully pique their interest and just think about it, really.
If you're interested in joining one of those future classes or learning more about the Hartford Police Department, we've got that information up on our Channel 3 app. Reporting live in Hartford, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Marcy.